Maneva na sema PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV de osia dem yopo.
He will seek re-election. So the last John to end the invasion of Johns in our body political balance, John Koyo Chemati. And I'm very surprised that people are still going to court on this matter. You see, our brother Ken Crunchy, this is the second time he's going to the court. Is that not
the second time?
In 2023, he went.
Yes, that's true.
That time you were seeking an interpretation as to whether President Mahama was qualified to even contest. And I thought he would learn something from that, because during that case, he was advised by the Supreme Court to learn the law very well. You know what I'm saying? Justice Kulinde.
No, you have to point.
No. If you go to Ghana, modern Ghana,
point that out. Let's see.
A member of the panel hearing the case, Justice Kulinde, advised the journalist cum lawyer to seek a legal master and learn at the field to avoid making procedural errors pertaining to the court. So even the
procedure, is a lawyer.
Yeah, but that is why they are saying that he has to learn the trade well. I don't think he has still learned it well, because it's so clear. Article 66(2) is so clear. It's unambiguous. So if you go to the Supreme Court and go and ask that, because there is nothing like successive, or I mean, they have a term.
Yeah, he's trying to push that rather.
Consecutive. Well, I mean, doesn't make sense. It's a term. You know, we vote for a president for only 4 years. That is what people must understand. And that when you perform, then you are given another 4 years. That's irrespective of which of the terms you serve, whether it was conservative or it was. It doesn't change anything. So I'm very surprised that you are going to the Supreme Court to waste the ears and minds of all these people.
But what you are not averting your mind to is that the conversation around the third term is a political mechanism. It's not a matter necessarily directly of law. And I'm saying that to you because, as of now, the possibility of having John Mahama run for a third term it's not as though it's impossible.
Because he has the numbers in parliament, but let me tell you something.
So it's not impossible.
His greatest opposition will rather come from within, not from outside. In any case,
if John Mahama ever tries to go for a third,
the implosion from the NDC will be massive. Take it from me. Hey, you know, Ghana is a very small community.
Oh, you mean people are that impatient?
My goodness. And he knows it.
The NDC.
John Mahama currently is the most experienced politician in this country. He knows it.
And who is going to fight him in the NDC?
you let him there. I'm telling you.
So because the possibility is there. In fact, in that same NDC, reading the history of the political party, they've produced the longest serving head of state of this republic of Ghana. So if you're telling me that that possibility doesn't exist, then I'll have to question.
They know what time it is. They know what time it is. They know what time it is.
So are you saying it's not possible?
The last time, I'm not going to say it's not possible, but the point is that I'm saying he will face the greatest opposition from his own party. And by the way, from the United point of view, we don't have any problem with even they trying to scheme to get him to the third term. Because remember, John Mahama lost in 2016. I mean, it's not as though John Mahama has not lost election in this country. He lost by the heaviest margin of close to 1 million votes. Is that not the case? But what we are saying is that to keep the integrity of this constitution that is binding, I am with him when he says that it's so obvious. I mean, what he was, the video that he just showed, he was just letting the entire country understand that he doesn't even understand why people have gone to the Supreme Court, because it's so obvious.
If you listen to the president well, he's not open about whether or not he will contest if the people of Ghana give him another opportunity to contest.
How is the people of Ghana going to give him another opportunity?
So let me give you that pathway. So, and maybe we should have that heated conversation. I'll also bring in the others to share their thoughts on that. If we have a referendum on the entrenched provisions regarding a tenure of office, and that is taken away after the referendum, so you and I don't have that power to insert the amendment clause. That way, the cap could be removed.
No, but
for any individual at all to run beyond.
Don't let us even be going this far.
And you can't do anything about it at that point.
The person that we are talking about has already said it. This is not the first time. He met the Council of Elders of the party last year. It was reported that emphatically he denied having or harboring the idea or intention. I
don't want you to speak for the president. I'm saying that the last one we've just heard from him.
He did not.
The people of Ghana gave him one additional term. But he hasn't spoken to us as to whether or not he will take the position if that constitutional...
That is not allowed. I will be very surprised if the Supreme Court...
It's not allowed where? After the referendum or before this referendum?
But the Constitution is very clear.
Yes, but after the referendum...
Who is going to do that referendum? We need money to be doing other serious things. Is that we should go and extend mandates? Is that the priority of the country?
Mandates will be extended for at least, the president has confirmed, for MPs. He's told us that it may go to 5 years.
Now, what I'm saying is that...
You know, you've heard the president say that.
Gumwa.
Yeah.
Yes.
He said that.
Yes, but the point is...
So if you're extending for MPs, the temptation...
Even with that...
To extend for...
The MPs, some of us are even thinking that we have to reduce it to 2 years. Some of them, the first year, if we had our own, we should go and remove it.
So you can't do anything?
No.
What will you do if...
Some of them, the moment they enter parliament, I tell you, if you were to go back to the various constituencies, 1 year they will replace. They themselves will replace them. Why do you want to extend it to 5 years?
What will you do?
So the point is that let this constitution
because if it's constitutional, if it's been changed, amended,
we haven't gotten there.
At that point,
we haven't gotten there. Thankfully, we have 2 individuals who have gone to the Supreme Court
this week.
Yes,
the government communications minister has told us that cabinet has discussed the constitutional amendment, the reforms, review, and this week pronouncements will be made. I doubt if they won't touch on the tenure because it was part of even the recommendation.
No, they can touch on it, but it will still be debated. You understand? I mean, these are proposals, these are recommendations. Government's position will not bring finality to it. Some of it we will have to engage in referendums. So it still comes back to the people of this country. I'm saying that extending...
So and when it comes to referendum, you don't have the numbers. For instance, UP, you don't have the numbers to challenge...
Why do you keep that? Who doesn't have the numbers?
You don't have the numbers to challenge...
You know the strength of the UP.
How many people will you amass to vote against the referendum on extending the tenure?
Millions.
They have
millions.
Millions from where?
Millions from this country.
You have millions?
Millions.
The NPP has millions?
The NPP doesn't have the million. Already they are breaking themselves. Have you heard what is happening in the party? He will tell you.
So who will amass the numbers?
The UP is going to amass the numbers, and we are going to tell the people of this country that 2 terms is enough. Can you imagine we were having President Akufo-Addo for a 3rd term? What would have happened to this country? BP would have...
There will be more free SHS.
Which free SHS? Having to see the scandals...
Are you enjoying the free SHS too?
Which one do you enjoy?
Your relatives didn't enjoy free SHS. Okay, so you, it's okay. Let's leave it at that this morning. Ati, can you imagine President Akufo-Addo for a 3rd term?
Well, I can't imagine because it's not a law. I don't want to even imagine a president saying that or clandestinely pushing people, instigating for a 3rd term. I don't even want to imagine.
Oh, there's someone thinking about that.
Even if it's within my party, I will still have a serious.
So you're saying that may be a disaster?
Because you see, one thing about power is that it emboldens people to do more. And when people flout the regulation, they flout the rules, and nobody comes after them, it also emboldens them to do more. So people that you see being part of a lot of social vices didn't start with just going through or to where they are today. They started with bit of it, and nobody called them to order. This 3rd term agenda conversation, to me, it's something that's even dead on arrival. Dead on arrival because, one, the Constitution spells it out. You cannot go for a 3rd term. You can only be sworn in twice as a president.
Yes.
Already, President Mahama went on as a caretaker president. That, I think there was somebody also went to challenge it when he wanted to contest for I think when it was 2020. I think it should be same Ken Kranche. And Ken Kranche was corrected on it, but it was stated clearly that President Mahama had the right to contest for the 2020 elections.
Imagine that. How come we have your General Secretary imagining that the president is pushing for
I said, I cannot imagine that. That is, I'm saying that I cannot imagine.
So why is your party leadership accusing the president of imagining a 3rd term? That's the question for you.
I cannot imagine he thinking that he wants to go for a 3rd term. Meaning, to me, the thought of a 3rd term by any leader, by any president, is absurd. That is it. It doesn't mean that the General Secretary is wrong in his thoughts. He's not wrong in his thoughts. But I'm saying that it's even absurd for you to even think or have the idea of a 3rd term bid. You understand what I'm saying?
So where from the evidence? Where is the evidence from the NPP pointing out to the fact that...
let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
Where's the evidence?
Let me tell you something. If President Mahama decides to go for a 3rd term, his biggest opposition will come from his own party. Will come from his own party because, look, you have the national chairman of the NDC moving around for the past almost getting to, I think, 1 year, 6 months. The moment President Mahama was sworn in, he started his campaign towards the presidency.
So you're telling us Johnson and Stephen Ketia will fight this?
Why don't you let me land? Listen, you're talking about this.
Yeah, I know. But I'm asking for clarity. You know we don't have all of the time, yes.
So let me land.
Yeah, so land on the front.
Oh, no. Yeah. You're not a nice person. Let me continue. Look, I'm saying the biggest opposition will come from his own party. Esedun Ketia will fight it out. And in fact, when the third term base started with some elements within the government some months ago, there were certain counters. From example, Fifi Koite, who also came in and said that is bootlicking, and that cannot be accepted in any way. That brought a finality to that issue. Then all of a sudden, this issue comes up again. You see, from where I sit, there's nothing like coincidence. It means that there are some people underneath who are instigating this third-term ambition for the president within the NDC. You see, it is very hard. It is very hard for people to have power and see it being lost. When we talk about power, it's not about only NDC being in power. It is about certain elements who think that when President Mahama keeps on being president, they benefit out of it. So they will also protect their interests. There are certain elements within the NDC who also have the view that the moment the presidency of John Mahama comes to an end, their also involvement in NDC and holding position in the NDC also comes to an end. And it's normal with almost all presidents who've come and gone in this country. So it is not about President Mahama alone, or maybe he having a thought. But it is also people who have interest within the NDC and his continuous stay. And you see, my biggest fear is this Supreme Court interpretation. Look, as it stands now, I trust the Ghana journalists and the Ghana police than our judges.
Wow.
These judges have passed a lot of verdicts which seem to be flip-flopping on their own.
Really? On their own. Wasn't not your party that was congratulating them doing the Pandai?
Can you let me land?
Are you disagreeing with your party?
I said that I do trust the Ghana police and Ghana journalists but the police and journalists are all the same. I do trust Ghana police and Ghana journalists. Then the judges of this country.
2 years ago, your party, your leadership.
I am saying, and I made comment. I said recently because of the verdict that they passed.
What has changed significantly?
We were in this country when the judge sat on the case and started animal farm as the backing to his ruling on abroad.
Have you read the ruling?
Did he cite George Orwell's animal farm?
But what's wrong? What's unconstitutional with the judge?
Did he cite it or not?
Yes, but
did he cite it or not? Did that judgment make sense to tell me that not all men are created equal? Let me I'll continue. Recently, a judge sentenced a journalist
to be honest,
jail.
To be honest, I mean that's
within the next day. It is my view. It is my what try to track. When I'm saying that I do trust, so you are possible to track the judges more than the journalists and the police. I said I trust Ghana police and the judges. What are you talking about? No. Do they pay themselves? I'm saying that I do trust Ghana police and Ghana journalists than the judges of this country.
That's your opinion. But
that is my opinion.
The basis for your opinion is that don't create the impression. Don't create the impression.
You cannot tell me that. You cannot tell me that I'm creating an impression. I am telling you that from my view, where I sit, if not for anything, there's been surveys around,
but
hold
on.
Where are you?
I'm sitting
here. I'm sitting here.
So you just disagree with your own party?
Yes. I disagree with our
You remember what your party said?
I did tell you right now. I said based on their judgment.
No, I'm asking whether you disagree with your own party.
I have my view. I can speak my view.
So this one is not the view of the party.
I do trust the Ghana police and the Ghana journalists and the judges of this country. So cases like this, I don't know, cases like the third term bid and its interpretation, I don't know how it will land. We were in this country when the bench warrant was issued to somebody. For years, the person never came to this country. The person came to this country heavily protected by national security. Then the same Supreme...
And was freed.
same Supreme Court sat on it with their own bench warrant, and they brought a verdict which you read and you get to you just wonder what did they just write?
You see,
telling us that
just land that and he was free.
Okay. He was free.
After he's been freed, he's out there.
He's out there doing the same thing.
Hold on.
So you want me to charge the judges of this country?
So
look, in my view, Ghana police has this element of corruption around them. Ghana journalists also joined recently. They've also joined recently, and I'm saying that even with you two, I trust.
So what are you saying?
I trust you and the police more than the judges.
Okay, thank you.
So in this case, like,
what are you thinking?
I do not know. I do not know how it will go. So I fear for this judgment.
Yeah, right.
So you are thanking him for this.
Hold on, Solo, hold on.
Did I hear Wayo also supporting this view?
Yeah, and let me come through.
I am scandalized.
Solo,
supporting what view?
The view.
Your ideology of
what I said. Guys, just hold on. So hear my point. Solo, I'll give you.
My goodness.
Solo, just
this view.
Solo,
the last bit of the
I want to make a statement.
You have agreed to everything that he has said.
Yeah, hold on. I want to make a statement before we continue.
Yes.
Let me say this. Your allegations or assertions this morning, we have to issue that disclaimer first of all.
My view.
Your view. Yes, whatever the case, I get that. We have to issue that disclaimer first of all. That these are your views.
So I hold. I'll even issue the disclaimer for you. I'll even issue the disclaimer for you.
I get that.
But that disclaimer is because the point is that whatever we say here is our view.
So let me say this: that we are not saying that the judge at any point erred by citing books in arriving at his
and that happens all the time.
Also, which is very normal in procedure. Also, yes, but hold on, let me learn so that
you forgot about the black house. You forgot about the black house.
Yeah, it happens. Okay, and then the second point is that we cannot prejudice any process here simply by saying that because something happened in the Kevin Taylor case, which of course the courts do not enforce arrest. You should know that, because the police service would have to enforce whatever warrant is against the individual. So if that individual is before court and the court decides to free him, that's a different matter. So we have to put all of that on record before we proceed. Okay. So where you can hold on. Let me hear from Ivan.
Yes, no problem.
Council is also joining us.
Council is there.
Yeah, brother. Let me say good morning to you and to our cherished viewers out there. To start with, I think this particular suit is quite frivolous, and I will be very surprised if the Supreme Court will entertain it. And because if you look at Article 66 to 1 and 2, there is no ambiguity hanging on anything that will warrant the invocation of Article 130. That is the interpretative jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. Because the Supreme Court will accept that invitation when there is an ambiguity hanging, and that is when you'll be able to invoke that particular jurisdiction. But as it stands now, it's a plain language. There is no ambiguity. And I wonder why. And again, if you go to the United States of America, the Supreme Court, they have set a very high standard for invoking the interpretative jurisdiction of the Supreme Court, because the Supreme Court is not a canteen for dishing out constitutional opinion.
Oh, canteen, how?
Yes. It's not a canteen for dishing out constitutional opinion. Like you said, you don't understand something, you just watch.
Why are you and Solo undermining a lawyer who's testing the law?
Being a lawyer doesn't make you an embodiment of whatever. You understand? Anything you say is mere opinion. The only difference between you and the ordinary person, you have a certain refined understanding of the law. But when it comes to interpretation, no lawyer has the right to interpret a constitution. If you look at our constitution,
really?
Oh yes. Anything you say is mere opinion. The only difference between a lawyer and an ordinary person.
But it's an authoritative opinion.
It's authoritative. The judges can trash them. You don't. No. It remains an opinion. It's only refined. That is why judges throw most of it away in the courtroom. It is only a judge that has the sole power to put interpretation on a constitutional test. That is a fact that has to be established. That is why you have a lawyer in a courtroom standing on his feet for 1 hour, speak, and I know that everything will be trashed. It's a pure opinion. Only difference is that it's refined.
Are you referring to some particular lawyer here? Or?
Oh, I'm not referring to it. I'm just making a very bold statement on what the actual
because Solo did same
is.
this morning by just, you know.
So you see, the Supreme Court does not respond to hypothetical constitutional questions. Yeah. First of all, if you go to the US, the one I was making reference to, for you to invoke the interpretative lesson of the Supreme Court,
what's the threshold?
There is an element that has to be satisfied. One has to do what we call the ripeness. The situation might have arisen.
So on the face of it.
On the face of it. So the element of abstraction will be absent. So when there is an element of enforcement, then an actual situation can be enforced. And if you go to in Ghana Supreme Court, a lot of such cases have been thrown out because it was hanging, it was hypothetical, and the Supreme Court in the past have said that it is not an avenue for additional constitutional opinion and those kind of stuff. So at the end of the day, if this particular case, the Supreme Court accept and decide to interpret it or work on it, the outcome is that what is the situation in town right now that will warrant this particular interpretation? Those elements or those questions will have to be answered, else it will push into the realm of hypothetical constitutional question, which the Supreme Court might want to throw away. But away from all these things, let's come back to the substance. You see, the president has made it quite clear that on the face of the Constitution, if you read it,
what the president says.
Quite clear that he's entitled to just 2 terms.
As of now?
As of now.
So what happens if that opportunity presents itself?
What opportunity? I'm saying that the suit itself is frivolous. You see, the only how do you call it, remedy to this particular tenor saga we are talking about
is what is before us.
No, it's Article 290. It's Article 290, amendment of entrenched clauses.
Exactly what I'm saying. That so you're telling us that simply because we have the 66(2) in our law books now, the statutes now, okay, it doesn't exist.
Okay.
What if we do the referendum and the interpretation arises?
No. You see, you're also doing the hypothetical thing. You understand? It's more of a conjecture. Oh, we can sit here and start to conjecture. You understand? But let's just pin our mind to the actuals. What is
actually say that there's a third term agenda?
By who? By who?
Because power would not.
No. If there is going to be a third term agenda, the ultimate beneficiary will be the president. And he has made it quite clear. You see, in politics, what you need to understand is that trust and confidence is very key, very essential. If President Mahama comes out today and attempt to invoke whatever you call the provisions, that is Article 290, that will rob away that public trust and confidence. We are coming from...
but who cares at that point?
People cares. I mean, are you aware for recent time our democracy has been teetering on the brink of a possible crash? Are you aware?
But Ivan, I'm saying that at that point...
This is a time for us to suture. Okay.
I mean, who cares at that point? Because if it will benefit a political class, they would let it go.
No. But this country does not belong to the political class alone. That is why your opinion, mine, and several others matters. You understand?
You know, the reason why I don't want us to throw away what this guy is taking to court is because there is an actual constitutional review process.
Okay.
You know, that has been
good.
And the extension of a tenure is
let me that is another leg of propaganda that has been activated. Let me answer that.
What's the problem?
Let me answer you. If the Constitutional Review Committee tomorrow comes out with a paper and they tell everybody...
They've already come out.
Let me conclude it for you that we have accepted what we call the 5 term for a president. The Constitution, are you aware that it doesn't take retroactive effect? President Mahama will never be a beneficiary of it.
I disagree with you.
No.
On the point of law.
No, you can't disagree.
Because once you remove the cap, that no individual can run more than 2 terms, there's nothing barring a previous president from standing in the fresh elections. That's my.
No.
There's absolutely.
That can be subject. We can debate.
No, I mean,
you understand?
Every election.
But you see.
So that's why I'm saying your leader may not be the next president.
What are you talking about?
Go there. We are just submerging ourselves in a realm of conjecture and supposition.
The possibility he's talking about.
No, there is. You see, we can push ourselves to the realm of suppositions. It's part of politics. But we need to look at the reality. There is no reality. First of all, for us to grant substance to this particular conversation, we must first look at the intention of the person in question, which is the president. And he has made it quite clear. Even yesterday, he made that particular statement point clear that it's left.
Is the president the only one going to change a constitutional provision?
I'm saying that he is the ultimate beneficiary.
It doesn't matter.
The accusation, the general secretary of the NPP,
political mechanism.
The accusation the general secretary of the NPP was heaping, he was heaping it on the president that he is interested. And that is the kind of propaganda I'm distilling, that the president has not expressed any interest.
So you see,
of a
once again, Ivan, my question is not being answered, and that's what I put to Solo earlier. The president has told us that for now, the people of Ghana have given him one additional term.
Yes.
What would the president do if he's given the opportunity again through another political mechanism?
Who is going to give that opportunity?
Are you the only Ghanaian?
I am saying that even if this process is subjected to referendum, there is no way anybody can win. You understand? You need to understand that. You see, governance is not about.
Ivan, why are you not answering that?
No. I'm saying
answering that one.
I am.
So probably.
No. You see, I cannot answer. I cannot answer because it's conjecture, and conjecture has no single answer. You understand? You are conjecturing. I can also conjecture and give you a response, which will not satisfy the reality. You understand? But that is why I don't want to push myself to the realm of supposition and assumptions. I just want to sit with the reality and what the Constitution is. If you look at the intention of the intentions of the framers of the Constitution. Are you being objective on this matter? Because I am. There's a politics to it. Because I don't see the possibility. I don't see the possibility of us going on this particular line. It will break trust and confidence, and that is the kind of thing I don't want to even start with, because it is not possible. The very moment that conversation is started in this particular country, then the trust and confidence people have in political establishment, that will be the end of it. You understand that? And the president understands it. He's one of the most experienced politicians. He knows the consequences and the implications if any attempt is made in this particular regard. And he has. The president is a politician. That is why consistently,
the president is a politician.
President Mahama has repeated this more than 4 times, telling people that he is not going to contest, that he has to.
No, he's not telling you he's not going to contest. He's told you that for now what he's been given is just one additional term by the people of Ghana. I'm saying that what happens, okay,
I can't satisfy.
Have you had a conversation with the people of Ghana that
they want to test Ivan, one thing I need to understand.
So why are you having issues with these two when they tell you that there's a third term agenda?
Who has said that?
I have not spoken.
You haven't.
President, let me also make.
These are people fantasizing themselves. The NPP, they don't understand what is going on.
Let me make a point. This whole thing is a sort of a political engineering that has been activated by people to have a course of action to speak to something, because there are actual and factual situations happening in this particular country. A lot of issues that we can speak to. It's just diversionary tactics. Because there hasn't been any official statement from the government or anybody seeking to even create an impression. And they are saying instigation. The person in question here. No, let me finish. Atik said there are people instigating. The principal lead of this particular way is King Kranche. King Kranche has never been a supporter of John Mahama. So if there is anybody to instigate, I'm not sure the NDC will go and hike.
So what was Fifi Kwete saying? What was Fifi Kwete saying when he said some people within his own political party are pushing the agenda? But that's from the General Secretary of the NDC saying they are sycophants. That is what.
But any political party, definitely you have people, because as long as the president.
Yes, but he's referring to NDC members too, isn't it?
But unfortunately,
we can't even narrow the Constitution. We can't even narrow the discussion to what any NDC member. There are people in the NDC.
Let me finish.
How can you never finish?
How are you correcting?
How are you correcting? You don't start time here.
This is the behavior that made them call you UPND. This is the behavior.
Let me make a point. The mere fact that some people in the NDC will be rooting for a third term, that is quite sure. But it hasn't changed the conversation. You understand that? Definitely we have people within the NDC who might want the president to go again. They have their own reasons. But we say we need to move away from those ideas or those impressions that people have and come to the reality on the table. And my point is that as it stands now, there is no room. The only window we have is the activation of Article 290, which is a hell of a process that we need to go through. And an experience as the president is, knowing the hurdles that we need to jump to have it activated, he will destroy his political...
But what I don't want you to do is leave this only to the president, because there's a whole spectrum when it comes to the change. Okay, Council Wayo is here with us. Just coming...
I want to understand something. Look, when people have power, and they want to use their power, they have enormous power.
Brother, if you allow this to go this way...
No, I'll give you the time.
If the Supreme Court sits on this case, and they say, now it should be conservative. If it's not conservative, the person can go another term. What will you do?
Okay, very well.
That becomes the law. That becomes the law. What will you do?
It can be.
It can be.
Hold on. Okay. There are some messages coming through. There's one from Christopher. He says that President Mahama should respect the democratic process and prepare to leave office gracefully. He should not allow anyone to mislead him into believing that...
You see what we are doing this morning? He's running at the back of assumption that the president...
Accusing the president.
See, that is why this whole thing is needless.
This is unnecessary.
When you have so you won't allow dissenting views?
No, I don't have a problem. But you see, it's more or less setting an agenda for some... For
an unnecessary discussion. Wanting the president to come and respond.
The president doesn't go for a third term. What's in your interest?
That is not... Whether he goes or he doesn't go, it is in our interest.
The message from the citizens. Yes. Let's take our turn. You
are now regulating the program. When he was speaking,
I've not regulated anything.
Did you know
he who comes into equity must come with clean.
You are behaving.
He who comes to equity must come with clean.
You to your hands are really dirty.
So you believe it's dirty?
Okay, guys, hold on. Council, welcome. Can I complete the message?
Yes, let us hear what the citizens are saying.
So the citizen is saying that Ghana belongs to all citizens. So listen.
Yes.
Ghana belongs to all its citizens, not one individual or political party. No one has that exclusive right to enjoy the country's resources. He should step aside with dignity and serve the nation as a respected statesman. As for the resources part, I don't know. I don't know how he's sharing that. Then there's one coming through saying that this is my take on the third term. If Trump goes for a third term, because Ivan was referring to the US, if Trump goes for a third term, John Dramani Mahama should also go for a third term, because we like comparing America to Ghana. And that comparison must be kept holy.
Trump is not going.
Trump is initially people started like that. They have run away from
that. Solo doesn't want you to talk this morning. But I'm giving you the time to talk.
Go on. Let me just make my points.
Yes.
And then
peacefully.
Yes.
He can make it peacefully.
Ivan. Very well. First and foremost, I will start from where my brother was talking about the trust in public institutions.
Yes.
And I was a bit surprised as a host. You were trying to debate his view as a citizen. He made a proposition that the police, the Ghana Journalists Association, the Judicial Service, the Parliamentary Service, prison service. And he says, I respect ABC in respect of accountability or how they do their work more than that. I think he's entitled to do that. There was nothing wrong with that.
I haven't challenged that view.
And he tried to back that with certain happiness.
Yes. But that is flawed. That is flawed.
I'm coming from the
judiciary.
That is always flawed. I'm coming from the judiciary. Some of these happenings come under both government of NDC and NPP.
Yes.
When the NPP is in power, you see how certain things are done to achieve a certain even judicial inquiries that they embark on. When the NDC is in power, they do these things. For instance, I agree with him in respect of Kevin Taylor. Sometimes we shouldn't be sweeping things under the carpet. You're a journalist. The way you do your journalism and the way others do their journalism. Back in those days, people like Kweku Sechiado, the front page, on this your same network, Fridays, this was seasoned journalism they were doing in the country. Look at what Kevin does. He gets himself faced with the law. A judge decides to deal with him. That system is abated, and then it's revisited. And we saw how it went. He came to this country. He was policed by the state. He was taken through the system, and he was left off the hook. Now, this same gentleman is out there repeating the same thing, doing more than what he did when the court called. So
how is that the burden?
No.
And that is the questions. How is that, first of all, the burden of the judiciary?
No. No.
Because as you know, and I was just talking about, and that's why I was questioning his analogy.
His analogy was based not on
the court cannot enforce arrest.
No, his analogy was not on the arrest.
He's sitting here.
No.
He's acting as a lawyer.
No. I understood, and it's not because it's coming from him now, because it's been a public debate, which I'm aware. That's why I'm also addressing it. So it's not because of him.
But we have to question that, obviously.
The point is not the area of arrest.
So what
he's trying to say is what will lead that dispensation to where the arrest must come in.
If I discharge,
and he's simply saying that if the court,
I'll give you all of the time, but hold on, counsel. If I'm a judge and I sit in court and I give an order, and it ought to be enforced by another state agency, I've discharged my duty, isn't it?
Yes.
So why would you? But why would you blame the court?
Let's put the pieces together.
Is that
what happened in the Kevin Taylor scenario is that he was left off the hook.
By who? By who?
By the court. So how does the police come in to arrest him?
There's an order. There was an order.
No, he was free
against him before the reversal.
No. The first scenario. Let's not go back to the first scenario. The first scenario was that there was an order. The police did not arrest him. We eventually went over that hurdle.
So how is that the fault of the?
No, but counsel, what was the issue before the? What was the issue before the judges?
Can I put that into perspective? I'm asking
because you are not getting the perspective.
Why am I not getting?
In the first scenario.
Yes.
In the first scenario.
No, we're not. We're still on.
Because that was my initial, so that I'll move on to the presidential.
Yes, just clear that off the way.
I'm saying that.
Yes.
You are still sticking to the stage one.
Yes.
The stage one was the first scenario where he was supposed to be arrested. He was not arrested.
Yes.
As a country, did we go beyond that? We went beyond that. He was now later brought before the court. And this time around, the court looked at the issues and said, what you were even accused of which there was an order for you to arrest, to us who are now taking the second bite, we think you have done nothing wrong, go home. That is what we are saying as a country. And that's what he's saying. Why are you still sticking at the first arrest? The first arrest, we went past that hurdle. We didn't arrest him, fine. But he eventually came before a court of law again.
You have a court.
So there was no basis. No basis for a court of law.
There was no basis for this dismissal. The decision by the court was flawed.
We can debate that, please.
No, I want to.
Yes. Decisions of court sometimes could be flawed.
No, I'm talking about this.
So that's why it's been reviewed.
No, I'm talking about specific instance.
No.
What they did, was it wrong? No, we want education on it.
No. Whether it was wrong or it was not wrong, what the citizens are saying.
I'm a citizen.
Please.
I'm a citizen.
Which citizen?
So
very well.
Let's stay with me on link, because where you are going this morning.
Let me move. You see, it's not controversy. It's a very simple issue.
It's not simple.
It's a very simple issue.
Because if you have brought forth,
it's okay, guys.
There is reasoning behind that judgment.
We understand. It's a very simple reasoning.
I think it's
a very simple reasoning.
No fire this morning.
What reasoning? The simple conclusion of that matter was that first, you were thought to have committed something, so the court was looking for it. There was an order.
Yes.
We didn't arrest you. Now
the police
didn't arrest you. We went past that stage.
The problem.
We went past that stage. We brought the citizen before the court again. So forget about the first arrest. They didn't arrest him.
Okay.
We went past that.
So let's get to the
now he comes and another group of adjudicators take a bite and they say, what you are being held for, we have looked at it, everything that you have no question to answer.
And I'm saying you have a problem with that.
Please don't ask me anything about that one. It will take the trajectory off. We can debate that.
Okay.
No, but that is the point that you are making. No, you cannot go. Let's stay there. No, let's stay there. Let's stay there.
You cannot stay there.
So are you saying?
You cannot stay there. Can you tell me that after Kevin Taylor went,
it's okay.
The thing that he was picked up for the initial issue, it's not doing more than this.
I am not doing the bidding of Kevin Taylor. What I'm saying is that you have brought
okay. Let's talk about it. Yes, please.
As a country, that's what we do. We always sweep things under the carpet. See, now this issue of second.
No, you are sweeping it under the carpet. Let's clear the air. So that you have brought a matter and you have accused.
We'll talk about
saying to you that
the man
had the first scenario. There was a second bite.
Yes.
The first scenario says we are holding you accountable for something you have done.
Yes.
The second bite says, the thing they're holding you, you are free to go.
Yes.
You say you are holding.
But you are a lawyer. You have appealed the resistance. You have appealed the resistance. A matter that was involving
the
second time was
okay.
You are just doing politics.
No, we are not doing politics. I don't do politics.
You think it's the NPP people complain. That's why you still stick your...
Wow, look at that. No. He has to withdraw.
Council,
why don't you have to withdraw?
So
you have to withdraw.
Second term of the president.
It's not done with the
third term of the president.
You revisit it.
Yes,
like all of them have said. I mean, Article 62 clear. 62 is clear. That, and I'll read it for the citizens of this country.
Just read that. Which
a person, 66(2). Yes. A person shall not be elected to hold office as president of Ghana for more than 2 terms.
2 terms, yes, more than 2, yes.
The ordinary English, the ordinary meaning is very clear.
Everything is ordinary.
You understand? It is only at a certain point when there's a bit of uncertainty about the law, ambiguity, then there must be further interpretation. But as we read 62, there's nothing here that said the person should have gone consecutively or the person should have gotten a break, whatever. It says that 2 terms, hold office as president of Ghana for more than 2 terms.
That's a cap.
Yes. So that first one, what office did you hold? Did you hold office as Chief Justice, President, or Parliament? He was President. Yeah. This second one, what office are you holding?
As President.
He said, hold office as President of Ghana for more than 2 terms. Okay. So whether you had Ghana, you had President of Ghana last 1960.
Doesn't matter.
So when you come back again, you come and hold office as President as 2. Now let's leave it to the laws interpret. And as humans as we are, we know the Supreme Court of any country can interpret anything. If they decide to interpret this one differently, that is where the citizens' agitation will either go with them or go against them. Now, Ivan was talking about 290, which talks about entrenched provisions and amendment of the Constitution, then non-entrenched provisions. If you look at 290, the entrenched provisions, if we agree that we want to change anything, especially this one, we need to go for a referendum so that the citizens of this country will vote that at this term we are talking about, Supreme Court says you can break and come back and do other 2. So now, how do we get it into effect? Let the Parliament deal with it. But that is what is going to take us to 107 on retroactivity or retroactive laws. Okay. Does the Parliament of this country have the right to make laws retroactively? So if you look at 107, Parliament shall have no power to pass any law. Here is law, but we are talking about regulations, we are talking about which operate retrospectively to impose any limitation on or to adversely affect the personal rights and liberties of any person, or to impose a burden, obligation, or liability. That's where it is. If you now want to, if the Supreme Court says what other people who are advocating for President Mahama to do a 3rd term, if the Supreme Court says that for them, now you are bringing onto Parliament to kickstart a referendum. And 107 is saying that anything that the Parliament is going to do is going to impose a burden. It's going to impose a burden on me, Wayo Ganamanti, that should go and queue and go and vote a yes or no. It's a burden. Is it going to impose an obligation on me that should wake up and go and queue? Is it going to impose a liability on me? And 106 is saying that Parliament cannot do that.
Is that not in respect of changing the backdating the law?
Yes, so that at the end of the day, to go and backdate it for somebody who has done 2 already.
No, for that, when you say that,
it's nearly impossible. That's what you said.
But it's debatable.
My brother.
The reason why I'm telling you that is because look at it from this perspective.
Why do you know something that we do not know?
No. So I'm not a member of cabinet.
Allow
me to. In the realms of politics.
Yeah.
No, this is forget. We give politics too much power.
Who regulates the law?
Let me go. Don't take my time. Let me continue. This is just the law. Now let me add my moral debate to this.
Let me bring the perspective. Hold on.
But it's not easy.
Nothing in politics is a coincidence.
I'll give you the time. Just hold on. Why I'm saying this is because you cannot deny an individual his political rights. It's entrenched in this constitution. Okay? Now, if you take away the capping, that's right now it's only 66-2 that bars any individual from contesting more than once. If you have a referendum extending the tenure of any political class, be it the parliamentarians or the president, you are basically saying there's no law limiting any.
But did you listen to the 107?
Yeah, but hold on.
But did you listen to the 107?
So this is where the catch is. There's no law presently at the time of the referendum when we succeed with this, that will be capping any individual from running beyond 1 term.
Beyond 2 terms.
Beyond 2 terms, right. Now, if you do the amendments, the text you would insert will not have a cap anymore. You cannot deny any individual in this republic his political...
Let
me help you. So you cannot say that the law has been backdated to prevent a president who's a person.
No, you know, I'm the one who's asking me the question.
In the future, that's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm telling you. So you cannot outlaw an individual contesting.
You are beginning something which is not even an argument. There's no argument about when a referendum is done and the people accept and we are moving forward. We are talking about the current situation, what we are confronted with. We are saying that under 107, President Mahama will find it difficult because retroactiveness of this law, even if we go about it, will not inure to its benefit.
Because have you heard of the constitutional review process?
No.
It includes extension of tenure as well.
That's for 5 years.
But that is
5 years. That is 5 years. That is not the number of times you must come. So let's separate the number of times and then the tenure. The tenure was 4 years. Now we are going to do 5 years. That is different. That is when you are president, you do 5 years. But we are talking about how many times you can hold office.
Yes, but have you seen the text of the referendum yet? No.
No, but the text has not changed that. Which is in 62. You understand?
Okay, well, these are politicians.
Very well. Who is that politician? Very well. Let me exhaust my point.
Okay. Yeah.
All these being the law, my view is why are we even at this crossroad? Let's look at how democracy is practiced elsewhere and let it guide us. Leaders who want to do something for their country, if they are bent on delivering properly, they should concentrate on that mandate that has been given and deal with it. If you deal with it within that space and the citizens see that you have done a good work, even if a law bars you from coming back or whatever it is, that good name, that legend you leave in the annals of history will be there. That is what I think politicians like President Mahama should be concentrating on.
Are you personally against more than a 4-year tenure? Is that something you
the
don't...
The 5-year term, I'm okay with that. Okay. Because it gives you at least 5 years to be able to do. The 4 years sometimes quickly comes and then the election...
5 years will also quickly come.
No, I mean, the number of time we used to campaign and all that, it chips off the 4 year properly, you understand? For example, when the party comes to power, first year you have not done it, 6 months. So the 5 years, I'm okay.
Why don't we build institutions rather? If you have strong institutions, it doesn't matter who is your president.
No, so after the 5 years, I think
you are okay with that.
5 years, because 5 plus 5 makes it 10. It means that you've been entrusted this country for 10 years to help build this country. I think you should be able to deliver. My trajectory is how we are not learning from other democracies. I was in England in 2019 for my master's. I entered England when Theresa May was prime minister. Quickly 2020 comes to the cliff. Brexit comes in, Boris Johnson comes in, Theresa May is gone. Johnson comes to do his own thing, and after a couple of time, he's gone. Rishi Sunak comes in. Sunak comes with fanfare, blah, blah, blah. He's kicked out. Liz Truss comes in. Truss comes to do her own thing, and then the Labour people come in. And today, as we are speaking, today is the last 2 days for Keir Starmer. For Keir Starmer to be in office as a premier. Because
the institutions are strong and working.
What that simply means is that, in addition to what you have just said, is that we have a group of people who understand that we must hold people accountable. We must make sure that we choose leaders from amongst ourselves and they are not demigods. And when we choose these leaders, we should be able to hold them accountable. And if it is time for the person to go, the person must go. For instance, this whole 3rd-year business you're talking about, I don't know if my record is right. It's the majority leader, Mahama Yariga, not in parliament, among those who are championing it. He is. You understand? But right here in England, members of parliament are saying that, Keir, you must go. But then when we reverse in our country, people go to sit down there and their fidelity is not to the forward march of this country, but to individuals.
But it's a...
So we must learn...
He's entitled to his views. You just told me...
But I just gave you a scenario of that entitlement. That entitlement and how it erodes this whole democracy we are practicing. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'm not arguing with the entitlement. The entitlement is that we overuse it and abuse it. And I'm giving you a classical example that right by our corner, the English, they are showing us how to use that entitlement.
That you can go at any time.
That they can hold people responsible. And so, not only holding responsible, but if you must deliver and you have not delivered, let's bring in somebody else. So we are simply saying that this whole noise about can I come again? Should somebody go to the Supreme Court and get the Supreme Court to look at it and read other meanings into 66(2)?
It shouldn't even arise.
Which, if they read, it will be the law, because the Supreme Court, the apex court, have said so. Then, as a country, we'll be saddled with that trajectory. Why are we doing this to the democracy?
You feel we shouldn't even think with that?
It is out of place. We should be able to understand that we put people in place. The people we put in place, they are our own brothers and sisters.
Of course.
Okay, great. This is what I'll do. Probably because I see lots of you are burning with some final issues. So Atik, let me start with you. 30 seconds. Do you have anything to say on so that we wrap up on this matter?
I'm young.
Yeah.
All right. But I've been in politics for a while. I did the student politics, did everything, did the youth, now doing the youth wing politics. I've been around for a while. And one thing I can tell you is that there's nothing like coincidence in politics. Issues like this, if I were to be the president and I'm interested in the third term bid, you know what I would do? I would get people to rather be championing it within the media, go try the law. People are I'm telling you,
go and file a suit.
Go and file a suit. Then it becomes a discussion. Then we begin to normalize it. Before I realize, now, okay, Supreme Court has passed a ruling that, yes, the person can go for another one. And I said, the moment the Supreme Court passes a ruling on this,
you think President Mama will say,
Ivan, Solo, and I, all of us,
we are bound.
We are bound by it. We cannot challenge it. We can only go on demonstrations and rant, but nothing will change.
And you think President Mama will say no?
He won't say no.
When power is being given to him again.
He's been in opposition for 8 years. 8 years. He came within 2 years, within a year, his national chairman was going around doing campaign, all right, trying to take the attention from him. So he's battling within in his own party, just that he's quiet about it. And now he gets the opportunity to go for another one. And you say that, he will say, you know what, I love Ghana so much. So even though there's been a ruling, I think that I'll let it go. I'll just end my turn now. Another person will come. You think he will do that?
No, he will say, I have not finished what I came to do for Ghana. Allow me.
That's what he will say.
Yes, of course.
They will pay people within the media and civil society to say that he's done a very good work. He's done a very good work. So let's allow him to continue.
Blessed. So you see the angles of this particular conversation. If you set out to debate in abstraction, there is no end to it. That is why I'm saying you are coming from a room of conjecture. Set emotion,
you mean,
and discussion.
Not me. No.
That is dominated by supposition and assumption.
Yeah.
You see, we are not debating reality. My point is that if this particular suit before the Supreme Court is frivolous, and I will be very surprised if the Supreme Court will even entertain it. That's my point. And again, we need to move away from personality leadership to institutional leadership, just like Solo said, so that we build robust institutions. If you go to America, 4 years, you are done, the institutions are in place. Whoever comes, agenda continues. You understand?
There's a viewer sending the text that you are the one doing a comparison with the US.
No.
Now Trump goes for it.
Trump is not going. As it stands now, Marco Rubio and his vice are competing. You understand that? So you see, in as much as we talk law, we talk whatever, we need to look at trust and confidence that can let the system gel. Our cohesion and integration is very key. Because if this particular conversation is activated, Supreme Court wakes up tomorrow and says this, do you know the implications? Do you know what will happen in this particular country? You understand? These are the excesses we don't want to. And if institutions of state that is supposed to bind us together, ensure that our cohesions and everything become very intact, and they are the same institution facilitating such things, I am not sure the Supreme Court will be...
so you side with counsel on this?
Oh, definitely. So the Supreme... I'm saying I will be very surprised. Just put it on record. I will be very surprised if the Supreme Court will entertain this particular suit.
Yes, everybody has you're also conjecturing. It's still the same conjecture.
Well, you don't know.
I have a problem. I have a problem where the president is deliberately zooming into the conversation.
But what's your problem with that?
No. Listen.
Because you can pick and choose where to conjecture.
Yeah,
you are conjecturing from the point.
Who is the now here?
Let me end.
Who is the now going to benefit from the event?
Let me end.
Who is the now going to benefit from the event? Is it not the president?
I have a problem when the president is deliberately zooming into the conversation too, and then a certain impression is created as if he's the one financing pushing people.
Whatever the case, Ivan, I'm saying, what's your problem with that? That is not the case. But what's your problem with that?
Because that will take away.
You are also conjecturing. You are conjecturing.
That will take away.
What shows that that's not the case?
I'll come to you.
Ivan, what shows that's not the case?
30 seconds. 30 seconds.
Yes, that's what I'm doing for everyone.
I'm very surprised this morning, honestly, because you see, the person we are talking about, that's the president, has made it clear that he knows his days are numbered. In the video that you played, he told you that his days are numbered. So what are we discussing?
So we bypass that and go and conjecture.
Conjecture. That's number one. Number two, the Constitution, which made him the president, say he has only 2 terms. And 2 terms is very clear. 1 term is 4 years, 4 plus 4 is 8. How can 4 plus 4 be 12? It doesn't work that way. So the president knows that 2028, by the 7th of January 2029, he's handing over to another person.
Why in a hurry to see the president?
Number three.
So why in a hurry to see the president?
I'm not in a hurry.
You feel that's the end for him?
That is the end. I mean, I would wish, and he captured it yesterday, and I was happy, that he will leave a legacy. The legacy must be to build strong institutions, to rid this country of corruption, corrupt officials that were under the erstwhile administration, and within his administration, he gets rid of them, so that we move on as a country. Is he saying, he and the General Secretary, that's the NPP, are they saying that Ken Kranchi all of a sudden is an NDC member?
NDC person.
Are they saying that? For Christ's sake, the last time I checked, Ken Kranchi remains a member of the NPP, and he's in court. So he's in bed with the president to do what? And by the way,
Blizzard, you are very much aware. You are very much aware that this case.
And what is this?
There was a teacher in the northern region who filed it. When those perpetrators of this bill realized that it's going to be a problem,
but you are giving my time.
They looked through and saw
it looks like.
But I push it.
No. So
let him take his time.
But you've done it to all of us. So what's the problem? So
clearly, where I sit, I don't have any reason to believe that the Supreme Court judges that we have today do not mean well for this country. After all, it's on record that the very party that he comes from, the NPP, recently applauded the Supreme Court when it came to matters to do with the Pandai rerun. I heard them.
Oh, they did?
Yes, you know, the Supreme Court, the way they handled the whole thing. It's the reason why we didn't have a rerun in Pandai.
Oh.
You understand the case?
Atik was there in court, I think.
No, he has not disagreed in his party. You know, when it's I don't like, you have to be principled. You understand? It is the only way.
You have to be principled. It doesn't mean.
You understand?
It doesn't mean that anything that comes from my party, I have to go with it. That is principle.
You are not disagreeing with your party.
That is principle. Principle is dealing with your conviction.
So your party was wrong then?
I'm saying that principle is dealing with your conviction.
Party members, listen to Atik.
I said principle is dealing with your conviction.
You were thinking low.
You were a member of NPP. So why didn't you stick with NPP and you left NPP?
London, let me hear from you.
Didn't you follow your principles?
London?
Yes, in London. Yes.
I also want to say that I disagree with Counsel when he agreed with Atik that the matters that were brought before the Supreme Court made them people that we could not trust. Because at the end of the day, it is a reason that he himself knows that the constitution that we operate has appellate jurisdiction. If a lower court does something that you disagree, the mere fact that the lower court said that this was right does not mean that the appellate court will not say it was wrong. So if you are going by that tangent, then I see nothing wrong with what they did. If anybody has an issue with the Supreme Court's ruling, he as a lawyer can challenge it. He knows it.
Great. Counsel, just wrap up for me.
Thank you very much. I'm surprised why Solo is trying to put words in my mouth.
No, that's what you said.
The man said that he trusts some institutions. He mentioned them, and then he doesn't have trust for some institutions. He laid out other issues and brought one example he wants to talk about. That example is what I identified with. The scenario of that example of Kevin Taylor, of how he was supposed to appear before a court in Ghana. He went away, hid somewhere there. Government changed. They brought him. He was guided by the state. He went to the court. The second bite was that go home. That is what I'm looking at. I'm not talking about his desire to trust or not trust the Supreme Court. So don't.
No, but it's the matter
please, let me take my time.
Okay, you just learned for me.
So please don't. I'm saying that he's entitled as a citizen to trust whatever public institution he wants to trust.
And I'm also entitled to question that trust.
You can question my trust.
There's also this trajectory where it looks like Solo also said that we shouldn't take it that the Supreme Court doesn't have this country's what? That is not the picture anybody paints. I think what people do say is on case-by-case basis, the way they look at issues, they could say that political influence. For instance, when the NPP was in power, and the minority leader, Afeni Mark was able to go and get certain things. What did people say? The MDC was in opposition. They said that he's going to influence, you understand? So that's how people see stuff, but it's not because people think that the Supreme Court does not have the country at hand.
But that's the people. What is your view? What is your view?
My view is that influences do influence public office.
No, but I'm saying that what is your view about the Supreme Court? That's what we are.
I just answered you that influences influence public office.
So the
judiciary is a public office. Supreme Court judges is a public office. The executive parliament. So at any point in time, it depends on how people are looking at issues.
But do you see them as corrupt institution or not? Let's discuss.
No, please don't come and try to put me on edge about it.
No, but that's what we are doing here. He said it.
Let's not change.
That's why I want.
When they do the analysis, and they put police and the rest. Don't you see that?
No, I'm asking about your view. Your view.
Don't ask me. Don't ask my view.
Chief Justice.
I think that the third term issue is a non-starter.
Okay.
And we shouldn't behave as if we don't know who politicians are. This trajectory,
politicians.
yes, of course.
Yeah.
This trajectory of trying to let it look like, when in the final analysis, the current president, he doesn't have any interest. A certain Ken Kranchi has gone to court. He has outruled something, and other things are happening. Then all of a sudden, the food is cooked and it's so good, and then the president will say that, if the Supreme Court says I have the right, just I will not take it. So we shouldn't also be doing this stuff. But the other issue is that
let me come. Yeah,
I'm expecting the Attorney General. So my advice to the Attorney General this morning is that if he wants to let us believe what Ivan is saying, which we are all saying, he should file and oppose this Ken Kranchi thing, so that the Supreme Court will now have a clear view that the current president and his administration are not interested in this subject. Because we all know, and we are saying, Ivan is saying that the president is not interested.
Oh, you want the AG to
yes, the AG should go in and then also oppose this, so that it is clear that you can go in as I
want to go as
but if the AG goes, it will show the position of the government of the day.
They file it, so you go in as
go in and oppose it so that the Supreme Court can, based on your argument, and throw this Ken Kranchi.
And then we talk about
the arrest.
Yeah, okay, guys. So next we'll talk about the arrest of the Miss Camilla. Is it? Yeah.
Yes. I will leave the president this message. I will leave it this from the book of from the Bible, Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1 to 3. It says that to everything there is a season. I think you should read it. Even if he's given 100 terms, a time will come that he will bow out of office. So the 4 years that we've given to him, he should make the judicial use of it, make it efficient, so that in his absence, we wouldn't be as if he has done nothing. Because if it's 100 years, he will still leave office. Thank you.
Solo is smiling about that.
Oh, I mean, that is the point.
I'm not PENDREAM TV. Now, so far, so good. Say, open online portal, Ghana. Nipa share, Nipa follow, Nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, I PENDREAM TV.